All right, my friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Brian, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about bank transfers and having access to your money when you're traveling abroad. Now, at the end of this video, I am going to do a live, in real-time bank transfer to show you exactly how fast you can get your money from a US bank into a local GCash account here in the Philippines. Now, GCash is a digital wallet, and I'm going to do a live transfer for you, and I'm not going to do any editing. You're going to see it from beginning to end, and you'll see how fast I can move funds here to the Philippines. But for now, let's start off by talking about bank transfers and ATM withdrawals so you can get access to your money. Now, I use Wise. This is formerly known as Wise Transfer. I think about 2 years ago they changed over. That is the primary transfer service that I use. Now, I did use Western Union once, yet they took well over a week to transfer just a few thousand US dollars. So with that experience, I don't use that service anymore. However, there are Western Union offices here, so that is an option here in the Philippines and abroad if you want to use that service, okay? So Wise is my go-to for moving money between accounts, and it usually falls into two categories. One, it's either a few $100s I'm moving, or it's a few $1,000s that I'll move from my US accounts into my Philippines accounts. That could be a Philippine savings account that I have set up here, or again, my Philippines GCash account, which is that digital wallet. Those are the two I use Wise primarily to transfer funds from the US here to the Philippines. Now, transfer fees are small and they're very reasonable with Wise. And generally the transfers, like I said, can be very, very fast, especially for small amounts. If you're only transferring a few $100s, it could be less than a minute. And for large transfers, usually several thousand US dollars, it could take several business days. So 3 or 4 business days is not unusual. Okay, if I am transferring anything larger, so if I'm going to transfer 10,000 or more US dollars, I will often use a wire transfer service. And I do this both internationally and domestically. Now, wire transfers, they are going to cost you more, and there may be more fees associated with both the sending side as well as the receiving side, and this is something you need to check into. Do your due diligence before you send money, because sometimes you can transfer funds, but the receiving bank, they may also apply a fee to those incoming funds, so make sure you're checking both sides of that transaction. Now, getting cash from ATMs, this is going to be the most common way you're going to actually pull funds, whether you're living or traveling abroad. So the key here is having an ATM card that is linked to either a checking, a savings, or a brokerage account that offers a service or offers services that refunds the ATM service fee. That's the most critical thing you want to look at here, okay? Now, in the United States, the most common that expats and travelers use, and the most commonly known, is the Charles Schwab checking account, and that account actually refunds all ATM service fees on international transactions. So when you put your card in and it has a fee associated with that transaction, they're going to reimburse that, okay? This is what I personally use to get local currency out of ATMs here in the Philippines, is also while traveling abroad. So if I'm in Malaysia or somewhere else in the world, I can use my Charles Schwab card to get those funds out of that ATM and they reimburse the fees. Okay, this account is known as the Schwab Investor Checking Account. And again, it reimburses all the ATM fees worldwide at the end of every month. It also has no foreign transaction fees. It also has no monthly fees with the account and no account minimums. So it's a fantastic account to have. Now, lesser known and in competition with them is Fidelity Investments. Fidelity has an account that is called the Cash Management Account, and it also has the same scenario, which is the ATM fees worldwide are reimbursed at the end of the month. You can have no foreign transaction fees with that account. There's no monthly fees as well as no monthly minimums. So those two, again, the Schwab and Fidelity, they're in competition with each other. They both offer cards. Schwab is the more common one, but if you have an account already with Fidelity Investments, call them and you can set that up, get an ATM card, and you're set to go. Now, there are several other banks I'll mention here that offer ATM or some sort of ATM reimbursement, okay? One common one with the U.S. military is USAA. The USAA Classic Checking Account, that refunds up to $10 US per month on ATM surcharges that are incurred on that account, okay? So that's very common, but again, it's only $10 and you can kind of go through that pretty fast if you're living abroad. Okay, other banks I have heard about are Ally Bank and Axios Bank. But what's interesting on those is you read the fine print, they're only for domestic ATM withdrawals, right? So they don't really cover international fees. They say they, have ATM reimbursement, but that's only on domestic. Now, for my Canadian friends out there, I believe it's Scotiabank. They offer ATM cash withdrawals on worldwide withdrawals at no surcharge. But here's the key. It has to be through select bank partners. So it's going to be specific ATM machines you're going to be able to use. The other one is the EQ Bank Card. That offers no foreign international transfer ATM fees, but that's only on withdrawals. So if you're doing, I think if you're doing a deposit or something, that may be different, but I saw it only covers withdrawals. All right. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with all of this language and everything else, ATM service fees, what does this really mean? How does it work? Let's get into the details a little bit here. Now, when you put your ATM card into a foreign ATM machine at a foreign bank, okay, you'll be shown a message that'll pop up, and it'll say something like this, okay? The amount charged to your account will include a fee or have some kind of fee associated with that. In this case, as an account includes $6 in additional to the requested account or the requested amount. And this is in addition to any fees charged by your financial institutions. Do you wish to continue? And they'll have a yes or a no, yes, accept here, no, and oftentimes it'll be accept or decline, something like that. In this case, because if you'd be using, and again, I highly recommend you use a card that reimburses those fees, you're going to say yes to this. This now is going to charge that that financial institution the fee associated with that transaction. But again, if you have one of these cards that reimburses it on the back end, then you're good to go. All right. Otherwise, if you're just doing it with your local bank and they don't have that, you're going to have to pay that service fee. Now, something else that you need to be aware of. Sometimes you'll see a screen that'll pop up like this, and this is the conversion, right? And it'll say this terminal offers conversion to your home currency, okay? And it'll give you an exchange rate. Typically, that exchange rate's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. And if it is good, sometimes they'll charge you a fee to do the actual conversion. It's another fee they'll throw on there. In this case, you want to decline that conversion. Now, you're not declining the transaction. You're declining them converting it because your bank on the back end, your bank will do the conversion for you. All this is doing, all this conversion that the ATM is offering, is they're just asking you if you're going to allow a third party to do that conversion for you and not your bank, and they're probably going to make some extra money on it. So I always recommend you decline this outright, and then you let your bank on the back end, let them do the conversion rate. All right, it's probably going to be the safest for you anyway. So I recommend taking that approach. So it's not declining the transaction, you're declining the conversion. So there's two pieces. Yes to the fees, no to the conversion. Right? It's really that simple. Now, on another note regarding ATM withdrawals is how much cash you can get out on that ATM per transfer, okay, or excuse me, per transaction, all right? So that's going to be set by the local bank. So some banks here in the Philippines I have found will only let you do 10,000 pesos, right, per transaction, where I have found other banks will allow you to do up to 40,000 pesos. Now, here's the key. Each time you do a transaction, that's going to have that transfer fee associated with it. So again, if you're using something at USAA and you're trying to pull 20,000 out and you're at a bank that only allows you 10,000 at one time, you're going to start to rack up multiple fees. You really don't want to do that. So again, ask around. The best way is really to talk to the bank, ask them, hey, what's the maximum I can pull out of this? And then also ask locals there, ask the expats and stuff like that. They're going to have the most up-to-date information of which ATMs to go to. That's going to be the best for you. Now, another thing you want to look at too is your bank on your end, right, may actually have a daily limit of what they allow you to withdraw, right, from that account. And here's the key. If you're traveling to a country that is significantly more expensive, you want to make sure that you're not going to run into a scenario where how much you're pulling out is going to be problematic to what you're probably going to spend there. So find out from your local bank what that limitation is per day, and they will often allow you to adjust that rate. So they may say, okay, you can only pull, 1,000 or 3,000 or 5,000 a day out of that account or something. And that's another safety thing for you too. You can call your bank and tell them, hey, something, I want, right, a limit on my ATM withdrawals per day and set that to a specific limit that's actually beneficial to you. So if something does happen bad, somebody does get your card, right, it's going to prevent them from hitting that account and pulling funds out if they're able to access that. So just another kind of tip for you there. Okay, next, as promised, let's go ahead and jump into that live real-time bank transfer that I did this last Friday so you can see exactly how easy and how fast I can transfer funds internationally from my US account into my local GCash account here in the Philippines, that digital wallet. And I want to point something out here is I already have these accounts linked. So I already had that done. It's already been verified in the background. So my bank is used to seeing funds transferring in. So that's why it can be so fast. All right, my friends. Now, I'm often asked questions about transferring money here into the Philippines. So tell you what, I'm going to do a live transfer for you right now. It is 4 p.m. Friday afternoon here in the Philippines. That makes it 4 a.m. Friday morning back in the United States. And so it's a business day, and I'm going to transfer $200 US from my checking account in the US into my GCash account, which is a payment account here. It's a digital wallet that you load up with money, and then you use those funds to scan QR codes and pay for things. That could be groceries, that could be my water bill. So that's one of the payment methods I use here in the Philippines is GCash. So I'm going to show you how fast this is. Now, I've already got my accounts set up between GCash and my checking account back home. But let me go ahead and open the app here. So I'm opening up my Wise account, okay? And that's what I use to transfer funds. So I open up my Wise account. I'm going to say send. And now I'm going to send money into my GCash account. And as of today's date, the current exchange rate is 57.34. So 57.34 to 1 from US dollars to the Filipino peso. I'm going to put in $200 US. Done. That's going to give me at the current exchange rate 11,332 pesos and 30 cents. And the way it works out, and the fee for that $200 transfer is $2.37 US. That's what Wise is going to charge me for that transfer. So I'll hit continue. It'll think about it for a second. It's going to ask me to actually verify here in a moment. Okay, it's going to ask me, okay, what am I using this for? So travel expenses, because I'm using it to travel around as a tourist here in the Philippines. So it gives me the review of my transfer, just like a shopping cart would, where you like, review everything. So again, it's going from my account in the U.S. here into the Philippines, $200 US, gives me exchange rate, and the total fees is $2.37 US. I will be getting deposited 11,332 pesos here in the Philippines. Confirm and send. Okay. Now this is where it's going to ask me for my biometrics again to confirm. Give it a second. It says we're on it. Just a minute. So it scrolls through just a little bit. Okay. Now I'm not going to cut any of this out. Okay. Okay, I'm authenticating right now. I'm going to keep this in real time so you can actually see this happen. Okay, sending. All right, now let's watch this in real time. Your money has been sent. Oh, what's that? That's my GCash saying, hey, guess what? Oh, there's the email now. I just received those 11,000 pesos in real time here in the Philippines. My friends, that's how fast you can move small amounts of money from accounts that you already set up. So you have to spend time setting it up first. But that is a live demonstration of how fast I can grab $200 out of my account from my phone, moving in my GCash, and I can walk into a 7-Eleven, I can walk into a Sorry store, anywhere, and I can scan the QR code and now pay using my digital wallet. Now that I have pesos, that conversion has already been done. It's now in my GCash account. That's the speed of how things can move here. So I hope this helped. I hope this showed you just how easy it is to move small amounts of cash back and forth for basically everyday living. Okay, my friends, there you have it. Always, thank you so much for watching. Please share your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.